Now, before you freak out, it was his step-granddaughter, if that makes it any better.
No,
but apparently, I know. Apparently, the affair has been going on since she was a teenager. She's now 27, and as you said, Morgan Freeman, 72. Now, as you can imagine, this affair has been kept very quiet until Morgan split with his wife at the beginning of last year. And Ellie, guess who Morgan took to the premiere of The Dark Knight? And the report is that he was remarkably close, even a little bit too close. They were holding hands, they were cuddling, they were giggling. I guess the feeling here in Hollywood, Ali, is that everyone really, really hopes that this one isn't true. Of course, Morgan Freeman, as you said, is a very respected and well-liked actor, and I can't see him shaking this one if it is true. So there you go, disturbing news about Morgan Freeman, Ellie.
If it's not true, he's going to become even richer than he already is in suing for damages, I'd say. Let's hope
no, the
it's
thing,
not
Ellie,
true.
the thing, Ellie, that makes this believable is that the quotes that are in it are from the granddaughter. So I don't know if she's trying to sell her story or get some money, but if it isn't true, you want to know what the hell's going on here.
Indeed.
The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.
The David Pakman Show is mostly funded by individual memberships like the one you can get at davidpakman.com. We actually have a special where we're giving away a free t-shirt with any one-year membership if you go to davidpakman.com/spring. It's going through the end of this week, so make sure to grab that. A lot of people, Louis, grabbing that free t-shirt. Big time stuff.
Big deal. It is a big deal. I wasn't being sarcastic.
Morgan Freeman is apparently going to marry his step-granddaughter. This is a bizarre, disturbing story that broke that Morgan Freeman was maintaining a 10-year relationship with his step-granddaughter, with whom he had a questionable sexual encounter where she was young. Yes, Louis, she is not related by blood, but Freeman is 72 and Adina Hines is now 27, meaning she would have been 17 and Morgan Freeman 62 when they first got together.
Consummated.
And once Freeman's wife found out about the secret affair, she filed for divorce, and now the Inquirer is claiming that once proceedings go through, he and Hines are set to wed, along with countless other newspapers. Morgan has led her to believe that he wants to marry her, is what we heard from a family insider. Whenever I hear about stuff like this, I think of, well, number one, legally, we're not saying legally there's any problem here. I don't know what state this would happen in. I don't even know what the legal thing is. But morally, do you have a problem with this, with a 72-year-old with a 27-year-old, or what it was when this began, apparently, 62-year-old with a 17-year-old?
Right. That's a little odd. I mean, when I hear about a 72-year-old, very wealthy actor marrying a 27-year-old, I think, okay, he gets this beautiful young girl. It makes him happy. She gets tons of money. She gets whatever she wants.
Right.
There's like this mutual understanding there.
Sure, we're familiar with that. But then you were adding the layer that it's his step-granddaughter to the mix. How does that affect things? Is it different than being his blood granddaughter for you?
Yeah.
It is different.
Of course.
Okay, Natan, is it materially different for you that it's step-granddaughter instead of granddaughter?
Yeah. I mean, it is, but also we should ask whether, since she was born, she grew up as, functionally his granddaughter. I don't know exactly how it went down.
Yeah. This to me reminds me of, what's the Woody Allen situation where he married his adopted stepdaughter or something like that? What was it?
Yeah, he was married to, or was he married to Mia Farrow? And she previously, in her previous marriage, had adopted a girl from Asia. And Woody Allen is now married to her. What
do you think of that, Louis?
It's a little weird, but
you like it.
Whatever.
You're into that.
I wouldn't say I'm into that. It happened. I mean,
okay, yeah. I mean, I find all of this behavior very, very bizarre. And I think, I think Morgan Freeman's a fantastic actor, one of my favorite actors. He's a fantastic actor, but this is really creeping me out a little bit. I don't know that I'm that into Morgan Freeman anymore if this ends up happening and being true.
So you're gonna drop out of the fan club?
No, I mean, when I flip by Shawshank Redemption, I'll still watch it probably, but I'll watch it differently.
You can't help but watch it. It's so good.
It is. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, I already thought he was kind of has taken the religious stuff a little too far. I already thought he was kind of nuts. So this doesn't really change things for me. I still think he's a great actor. I'll still watch his movies.
All right, there you go. You've heard it from Louis.
Hey guys, it's KJ from the Scariest Movie Ever channel on YouTube, and I've got another one of those weird stories in the news that I really wanted to share. Morgan Freeman's stepdaughter stabbed to death in exorcism. And this just happened today, August 16th. Morgan Freeman's step-granddaughter was stabbed to death by her crazed boyfriend as he appeared to be trying to perform an exorcism on her on a Manhattan sidewalk early Sunday, law enforcement sources and a witness said. "Get out, devils! I cast you out, devils! In the name of Jesus Christ, I cast you out!" the suspect screamed, according to George Hidako, 65, who witnessed the attack from his window in Washington Heights and called 911. The girl was making a lot of noise, screaming, Hidako said of victim Edena Hines, 33. I'm going to stop there just for a second. And just the fact this is Morgan Freeman and he's really high up in the Hollywood system, immediately a lot of us are going to start thinking, could this be some kind of an Illuminati connection? That's the first thing I thought when I saw the headline. And then as I started reading the story, I saw the number 33. So for those of you who don't know, the numbers 11, 22, and 33 are highly significant occult numbers, specifically with the Illuminati. I've covered that a lot on the channel. Other people have covered that stuff as well. But it's also interesting because we also find a lot of mysterious deaths and strange deaths surrounding a lot of the celebrities. And usually it's people that they're related to. So I'm not saying that this isn't exactly an Illuminati sacrifice or whatever, but who knows? You know, who knows? I mean, this is certainly one of those that we're going to want to watch and see how it develops. I'll continue reading. It says, "I saw something sparkly going up and down. I called 911. I was begging them to come. Hines, whose grandmother, Jeanette Adair Bradshaw, was Freeman's first wife, was stabbed in front of West 162nd Street near St. Nicholas Avenue just before 3 a.m., cops said. Her live-in boyfriend continued stabbing her even after her body went lifeless and was still screaming incoherently over her when police arrived at the bloody scene. Freeman issued a sorrowful public statement within hours of the attack saying, 'The world will never know her artistry and talent and how much she had to offer. Her friends and family were fortunate enough to have known what she meant as a person. Her star will continue to shine bright in our hearts, thoughts, and prayers. May she rest in peace.'" So although Hines and Freeman, 78, were not related by blood, the actor adopted her mother and was so close to Hines that she sometimes joined him on the red carpet to movie premieres and award shows as his +1. That's the victim there. In 2012, Freeman had to publicly squash false reports that they were romantically involved, and I remember those stories coming out too. Hines, who is also an actor, was pronounced dead at Harlem Hospital. She played Benitha in A Raisin in the Sun on Broadway and was a founding member of the youth empowerment and writers organization Sun Edna, according to its website. She had recently moved into an apartment with her alleged killer on West 162nd Street, a few buildings from where she was slain, neighbors said. Next-door neighbor Ben, 50, who declined to give his last name, said Hines was friendly and kept very busy. "We knew she was an actress. She was always on the move, always moving, going to auditions," he said. 2 weeks ago, Hines finished filming Landing Up, a feature film about 2 young homeless women surviving on the streets of New York. Its director, Daniel Tenenbaum, told the Post, "We're devastated. She was an amazing, incredible, loving human being," Tenenbaum said. "She is one of the souls of the movie," the director grieved. "She really touched every single person on set, crew and cast, and was such a vivid part of this whole experience. She was here. She was in our office a couple days ago, and we sat and talked and filmed her." Her boyfriend was arrested and taken to Columbia Presbyterian Hospital for a psychiatric evaluation, officials said. It's unclear why the man snapped. So there's that. Morgan Freeman's step-granddaughter stabbed to death in exorcism. And there have been rumors that they were actually in an affair or in a relationship, and this came out a few years ago. So it's interesting, if you look it up on celebrities that have died at the age of 33 or people that related to celebrities died at the age of 33, you'll find a lot of them. Anyway, here's an article I wanted to share with you, and this is from the Telegraph. I thought this is pretty interesting. The age of 33 is dangerous for entertainers, as the case of Stephen Gately shows. I'm going to read some of this article here, but Stephen Gately is another case you can look into. So I'm going to show you this real quick, and this is just a good example of oftentimes you'll find someone dying at the age of 33, a celebrity, When you do a little research, you'll find that there's all these Illuminati connections, right? Anyway, this is from Pseudo Occult Media. I'll just scroll down. This is an older story. This is back in October of 2009. But this has to do with Stephen Gately. Here's the story. It says Stephen Gately feels the devil's curse at 33. I'll leave a link to this story, or this page here, underneath the video so you can check the whole thing out. It's very interesting. These guys really put the work in on this one. But you can see just some of the images we're seeing here that there's Stephen Gately right there in the movie Credo. Start finding all this stuff, more of the satanic type connections to this stuff, right? And then there's more and more and more as you go down. He's done some music videos with Illuminati symbols in them. He was in a band called, I guess it was a band or a show called Boyzone. So even with that, there's a lot of interesting symbolism. You can see it right there in the middle, the black and the white, the duality split right there, right? And here's more that's pretty obvious. There's another one from Stephen Gately. So yeah, you can check this out sometime. Right there he's playing the child catcher from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, which is a representative of the pedophile rings, of course, of the elite. One of the child catchers for the elite. Using Godspell, Illuminati symbolism there. So there's that. Like I said, I'll leave the link and you can check that story out right there. I just wanted to show you that real quick with Gately, in case you're wondering who that was. And let me finish up the article over here. 33 can be a difficult year, and Stephen Gately joins a long list of entertainers who died at that age. When you hear of a 33-year-old dying suddenly, and not from a car accident, suicide, or something rare like cerebral aneurysm, it's hard to avoid jumping to the conclusion that drugs or alcohol must be involved somehow. And so it appears to have been with Stephen Gately, who died at the weekend. According to friends and police sources who spoke to The Sun, the culprit was alcohol, our favorite drug, as doctors like to call it. The Sun reports that Gately had been drinking potent cocktails and white wine in the Black Cat, a gay club in Palma, Majorca, with his civil partner Andy Cowles on Friday night. The age of 33 has special resonance, obviously because of the association with Jesus. In the 20th century, a mysterious number of entertainers also died at 33. As I was saying, you can do a little search on that. Notable instances include roly-poly funny men John Belushi and Chris Farley, Karen Carpenter, Keith Relf of the Yardbirds, and Sam Cooke. One famous rock star died at 33 from inhaling vomit. This was Ronald Belford Scott, better known as Bon Scott, lead singer and lyricist of AC/DC. In early hours of February 19, 1980, Scott passed out in a friend's car parked in Overhill Road in East Dulwich, and was pronounced dead on arrival at King's College Hospital. Anyway, that goes on with that. But yeah, I mainly just wanted to show you that right there, that once again, when you start finding the age of 33 connected with these celebrity deaths, it's really interesting when you start kind of investigating, and you'll find oftentimes that there are some kind of occult connections. And that's certainly not to say it's the case with all of them, but certainly in some, it's there. Morgan Freeman's step-granddaughter stabbed to death in New York. A lot of interesting things happening around this case. A lot of numbers that are connecting there that are interesting for many of us who study this occult type stuff. And who knows, right? And were they a couple? Were they actually a couple at one time? There's a lot of news stories out about that as well. There's a lot of speculation. Even though Morgan Freeman came out and said they weren't, he kind of has to, right? So who knows? Were they an actual couple? Was this part of some kind of an Illuminati sacrifice, some kind of a blood ritual? Did she really have demons in her? Could she have actually been possessed? Did this guy that was stabbing her actually see something? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows how real all of this story is? I'm not saying she didn't die. I'm believing that part of it. But who knows with all the other circumstances caught up? Who knows if the guy that allegedly killed her, if he's all part of a setup, they're putting this off on him, maybe he knows too much, who knows? A lot of times these Hollywood stories that come out in the news are very much like the Hollywood movies we've all seen. There's a lot more going on behind the scenes, right? So who knows? Anyway, I wanted to share that with you. I thought it was very, very interesting, and certainly a story for us to keep our eyes on. But thanks for checking out the video, and I'll talk to you guys later. Take it easy.
Now this is a little curious. You know, Family Guy is always something that comes up when it comes to these Illuminati sacrifices and the foretelling of events before they happen. You also have it with The Simpsons and other shows. Here we have, I was looking up Family Guy exorcism, and there's only 2 episodes that I could really find. One is an exorcist, and this one's an actual exorcism. The other one just has a girl's head spinning. This one actually has a real exorcism in it. And what it is this, his son here is speaking like a rapper. He's speaking street talk. His father stops the car and starts basically trying to cast demons out of him. Now this is a disturbing death here. Morgan Freeman's granddaughter stabbed to death during an exorcism. Okay, and all the occult signs are around this one. She was 33 years old, and it was done at 3 a.m. And we see also she was stabbed to death near the location of Morgan Freeman's first wife, who was attacked on 162nd Street. Okay, and you see these 3 numbers. You can order it and put the 2 and a 1 and a 6, right? 6 times 6 times 6 is 216. And I find it kind of curious that it was very near where she was attacked. Okay. And this guy clearly was acting insane. He was doing an exorcism. This guy is a rapper, okay? You see him here, Lamar Davenport. Calls himself Lyric. This is her, Edna Hines. And he stabbed her to death. And even after he had already killed her and the knife was stuck in her, he's still making the movements of stabbing her to death, saying the same thing over and over. Okay? And the really weird part is what the guy who saw this whole thing said. And here he's actually quoting what this guy was saying while he's stabbing her boyfriend there, the rapper. "Get out, devils. I cast you out, devils. In the name of Jesus Christ, I cast you out." The suspect screamed, according to George Hidako, who witnessed the attack from his window in Washington Heights and called 911. The girl was making a lot of noise screaming. Hidako said the victim, Edna Hines, "I saw something sparkly going up and down." And I was, that was a knife, obviously. And it's really interesting because his, like I said, Morgan Freeman's first wife was stabbed very near to that location. And it seems to me like this is definitely an occult ritual. Clearly, with the numbering 33 at 3 a.m., the 162 rearranged 216, 6 times 6 times 6. The fact that it was very near where Morgan Freeman's first wife was stabbed. There's a lot of little things like that that make it clear. Now, clearly, Morgan Freeman's part of this Luciferian agenda. Under the disguise of being an atheist, he clearly knows there's a God. Matter of fact, he says, "I am God." And then, he played in a commercial as God. He says, "My belief system doesn't support a creator as such as we can call God. He created us in his image. It's hard to question because I have said from the start, I think we invented God. So if I believe in God, and I do, is because I think I'm God." See, there he has a lot of contradiction there, which comes out with the black and white. You say one thing and then contradict it yourself. Her live-in boyfriend, Lamar Davenport, 30, was in the throes of drug-induced psychosis when he came after her. And he shouted, "Jesus Christ is born," he shouted maniacally over her body after he had killed her. Clearly, we can see that his use of drugs permitted spirits to enter him and allow him to do this craziness. It's It's really sad, actually. But of course, what are they doing in the process of this? They're making Christianity look bad. As if this guy's like some sort of upstanding Christian while he's in a drug-induced psychosis, trying to do an exorcism while he's stabbing a woman. This is the devil's way. He makes religion look bad. That's the whole point. Morgan Freeman, making religion look bad. Sort of their kill two birds with one stone. Have a sacrifice and make God look bad in the process. When cops wrestled him off her, he was still making a stabbing motion with his arm, but he had nothing in his fist. The knife was jutting out of her chest. Of course, I looked into this guy. He definitely doesn't have a rapping career. I tried to look up this rapper lyric and pretty much couldn't find anything, so obviously his rap career is pretty much non-existent. It's interesting what Morgan Freeman's statement was regarding this death of his granddaughter. The world will never know her artistry and talent, how much she had to offer. Her friends and family were fortunate enough to have known what she meant as a person. Her star will continue to shine bright in our hearts, thoughts, and prayers. Sounds sort of odd coming from a guy who doesn't believe in God, but, you know, that's common for people to say such things. Okay, I'm going to show you a little twist here. This is Morgan Freeman with Edna Hines at the premiere of Dark Knight Rises. Okay? See Dark Knight right above his head? As if he is potentially involved. Just check this out. This is kind of eerie. In 2008, there was talk of the Dark Knight curse, and Freeman almost died in an automobile accident. Now check this out. Nigh. Like death is nigh, and you see this behind her. I don't know, I thought that was kind of weird. Could that be something there suggestive? Like death is nigh? And they had this thing they were talking about, the Dark Knight curse, so I don't know, man. It's kind of curious. I just thought I'd throw that one out there. Now this website's making another connection with the movie. It may be recalled that Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver Hines Ward was the focus of the dramatic destruction scene of Gotham Football Stadium in The Dark Knight Rises. So the name Hines is kind of curious. Now this is a little curious. You know, Family Guy is always something that comes up when it comes to these Illuminati sacrifices and the foretelling of events before they happen. You also have it with The Simpsons and other shows. Here we have, I was looking up Family Guy exorcism, and there's only 2 episodes that I could really find. One is an exorcist, and this one's an actual exorcism. The other one just has a girl's head spinning. This one actually has a real exorcism in it. And what it is this, his son here is speaking like a rapper. He's speaking street talk. His father stops the car and starts basically trying to cast demons out of him. Sort of like he's a rapper and he's casting demons out of him. I thought that was a little curious, seeing this guy was a rapper and he was trying to cast demons out of Miss Hines, Edna Hines. Okay, let's see if I can get over to some picture. It's a rapper trying to cast demons out of her. This guy's speaking rap talk, and his father's trying to cast demons out of him.